back into the Tide Talk podcast. Stacey Blackwood with Jake Thomas. Jake, what's up, buddy?
Man, I am fired up. I'm ready for some turkey and dressing, tomorrow. And thankfully, Saturday is a couple of days away still. That way, Friday we can relax and try to get all that food off of our stomachs that we're about to partake in tomorrow. Because
That's
I am
right.
going to eat way too much. I can guarantee
You and the rest of America.
it. Yep.
Well, Jake, we're obviously here to preview the Iron Bowl, but just so everybody gets fired up and ready, I think this is a message that all Alabama fans need to hear. Bear with us as I share my screen here. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to play this video of Saban from tonight during Hey Coach. Just kind of his message to the fans, and I think it's something that we all need to hear. All right, so let's go.
Everybody says, "Oh, they lost 2 games in a row. They're not any good anymore. We're just going to blow them out." It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite of that. They're competitors. They have moms and dads. They have pride in performance. They have things that they want to accomplish and they want to do, and they want to be good. They don't just throw in the towel. They work harder to try to get better, and everybody wants to beat us. So we're going to get everybody's best game. And I don't know why people can't understand that. And but and we're just it's you could say it's not fair to our players that they get everybody's best game. But they do. And they have to be able to compete through that and play over that. And it's I don't know. I mean, when I came here, everybody was happy to win a game. Now we're not happy to win a game anymore. We're not happy to win a game at all. We think we should win games by whatever. And I don't think that's fair to the players either. Because our players work their butt off to be the best that they can be. And to get criticized for what they work hard for to do so that you can be entertained. So that you can enjoy and have pride and passion for what they accomplish and what they do. And they're not perfect. They're just college students. They go to school every day. They got to study. They have to run extra after practice when they miss study hall. I mean, come on, give me a break. This is not professional football. These guys aren't getting paid to play here. They're representing you all. You should be proud and happy to support them and appreciate what they do and have some gratitude. And you know what else? Nobody wants to win worse than they do. Not me, not you. I don't care what kind of fan you are. Nobody wants to win more than the players that play. Nobody.
That was magnificently said.
And nobody feels worse than they do when they lose.
Yep.
Nobody. So for all you self-absorbed folks out there that can't look past your own self, to appreciate what other people are doing.
Love
Well,
it.
uh, Jake, just when you hear that, what is your reaction?
Number one, I loved it, and we talked before we come on between us. It needed to be said by Nick Saban because I mean we can sit here and talk about how you know, like I guess how self-absorbed and how we're spoiled, because we're used to blowing teams out, but like Saban said, when he first come here, we was happy to win a game. Now we're not happy to win a game. It don't matter if we win by 3 points. We're not happy about it because we think we ought to be blowing people out. But that is not the case, and that's not the case with this team this year. This team is still really good, but they're not going to blow people out per se, But because this is the way football has changed offensively the last couple of years. But still, this team is still talented. It's still special. And like Saban said, nobody here works harder than them kids and wants to win more than they do. And that's why they go to practice every day and work hard. They get better. And it just need to be said because there's still people out there who thinks that Alabama football, we should be winning by 52-0 every game.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all back to what we've been saying for a couple of weeks now. We're just spoiled, Jake.
Hmm.
Our fan base is spoiled, and the truth is, we don't deserve Nick Saban anymore because
Nope.
of how poorly our fan base reacts to winning games.
I know.
Like he said, winning is no longer enough for Alabama fans. If we don't win by 30, it's a complete disappointment to the fans. And I don't know how it got. Well, I know how it got there. We've won 6 national championships, over the last however many years, and
12 years, something like
so
that.
we're spoiled, and it's evident in the way the fans react to games, and it's I'm glad Coach Saban finally said something because it's kind of been something that's been going on all season. And it's not fair to the team because last year
No.
the 2020 team was arguably one of the greatest college football teams of all time. So now this 2021 team is trying to live up to those expectations, and they're just not fair.
Right.
So
It's way lofty expectations for this year's team to counteract what happened last year, and it's just not fair to them because it's new faces, it's new leadership, and like I said, this team is still special, they're still talented, and I still believe they can win a national championship, but they're not going to blow teams out like we're used to seeing. It's just not going to happen,
well,
and I'm
and
fine with that.
I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to win. I mean, win,
Exactly.
baby. I mean,
Yeah.
that at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Hmm.
So I don't understand it. We're 10-1 right now. Have a
Yeah.
great chance. Have a great chance to be 11-1 with a Heisman Trophy contending quarterback who's making his in his first year as a starter.
Hmm.
Pretty much all new offensive linemen,
Hmm.
all new receiving core, new starting running back. So I mean, I don't know what I know what else they want. It's just that people are never satisfied. They always want to be better, and it's just goes back to our fan base being spoilt. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty as well. During the games, in the
Hmm.
moment, I'm a little heated,
Yeah.
but I always, and that's why I can't do a live show during a game or even right after a game because it's too fresh, and I need time to kind of simmer down and think about it
Yeah.
rationally, so and not emotionally. So because during the
Yeah.
game, everybody is just emotionally involved, and nobody's more emotionally involved than what the players are because they're
Right.
the ones that's put in the work all week to get prepared for the game. So Coach Saban made the perfect comment. Nobody cares more about winning than those guys on the field.
Hmm.
And nobody
Absolutely.
hurts more after a loss than those guys that walk off the field after taking that loss.
Hmm.
So for all armchair quarterbacks and Monday morning quarterbacks thinking you have all the answers and that if the players just cared as much as you did that it wouldn't happen, that's not true.
Right. Absolutely.
But I just wanted to play that to kind of start the show to kind of get us off on the right foot and have everybody fired up for the Iron Bowl. Jake, I know I'm fired up for the
Hmm.
Iron Bowl. I know that when each year we talk about a rivalry game and how you can kind of throw the records out. And in most cases, I agree with that. But Jake, this does seem a little different. This Auburn team is reeling right now. They've lost their starting quarterback. Uh, they're just not a very good offensive team right now. Their defense is struggling mostly because their offense is not able to muster any consistency. So, yeah, great point there. But
Yeah.
it's not showing me your name; it's just saying Facebook user. But great point. If they didn't
I
care,
don't know.
they won't be there. But appreciate you tuning in to the show. But yeah, I mean, this Auburn team, back to their defense, they're struggling a little more later here in the season, but it's mostly due to because their offense is just not very consistent right now. So, your sister, oh well, hi there. What's
Hey,
up,
Justin.
Justin?
Hey, Tracy. Thanks. Love you too. I will see you Sunday. We got a birthday party at 10, so I'll be there. But it's for our other sister's 1 year old. So
Nice.
yeah. But yeah. What's up, Justin? Good to have you tonight. But what'd you think about that clip, Justin? I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you're fired up about it as well.
Yeah,
But
Justin. I look forward to seeing what you have to say about what Saban had to say tonight during Hey Coach. But
yeah.
uh, just talking about this Auburn team while Justin's fiercely
Mhm.
typing out his answer. Um, and for those that are just that
Oh,
was Heath that said love you. Roll Tide, Heath.
Roll Tide, Heath. But yeah, you was talking about how Auburn seems up to be real. They're real in the last couple of weeks, and people. I know South Carolina's kind of been down, but they have beat Auburn's. This is the second year in a row they beat them.
That's
So
true.
it seems like South Carolina's got Auburn's number regardless who's on the field because I mean it's pretty much the same offense, give or take, minus a few players from last year's team. But one thing that I've noticed the last couple of weeks is they have been, they get up on the run game way too early. It seems like, and Tank Bigsby needs to be their entire offense. I don't care if your name's Bo Nix, T.J. Finley. I don't care if Joe Namath himself was there, even though he didn't go there. I'm just saying, if Cam Newton was there, I still would run my offense through Tank Bigsby because
Yeah.
that dude's a stud. But they just give up on him too early in this, and in a game, and then they're left reeling, and they just can't catch up because they're not a team that if they get down real big that they're going to score a lot to catch back up. You know, so
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Roll Tide from your sister, Sammy. Hey, that's my sister, Samantha.
so was Joe.
Yeah, Justin Hunter and Bigsby should be the focal points. Hey, Justin,
Yeah,
if you'll go to my Twitter account, I see that you haven't seen what Coach Saban said. Go to my Twitter feed and look at my retweets, and you'll see about a 2.5 minute clip of Coach
yeah,
Saban going on a rant during Hey Coach tonight. It's pretty interesting,
hmm
yeah, looking at this Auburn offense, like you said, it needs to be focused around the running game because the truth is Finley's just not experienced enough to be a major threat. They don't really have any weapons outside that are just guys like Traylon Burks or
right.
anything like that you really got to worry about. So, but it's going to be tough to establish a run on Alabama. They're stout against the run. I mean, over the last several games, they're holding teams to under 3 yards a carry, and
hmm
when you average less than 3 yards a carry, it's hard to muster a consistent running game. So that's going to be tough on Auburn. If anybody can do it, it's Tank Bisbee though. He's a heck of a player.
Yeah,
Is it Jaquez Hunter? Is that the other
yeah.
kid?
Jock West Hunter,
Yeah,
he's really good too.
he's a really good back as well. So yeah, they don't have wide
Right.
receivers to warrant dropping. Yeah, they're it's kind of surprising that Auburn has not recruited better at that position. Um, and people can talk about Bo Nix all they want, and we're going to talk about Bo Nix's comments that he made earlier this week here in just a minute. But uh, he would be better if he had some better weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, he would put up better numbers if he had some better weapons. He doesn't have anybody to throw to.
No, he don't. On the defensive side for them, I thought their defense would be their strength of their team this year.
Yeah,
But the last couple of weeks, they have been shredded in the second half. I mean, Mississippi State had zero run attack. And Auburn was still just dropping 8 because they knew they could defend the pass, and they couldn't do it. Will Rogers ate them up, and if Will Rogers ate them up, just think about what JMO, Bryce, and Mech is about to do to that secondary. If they don't have a good week in practice and don't try to fix some, get some things straightened out.
their secondary should be better than what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Smoke Monday's a good player.
hmm
Was it Roger McCreary at corner? I mean, he's one of the
hmm
better corners in the country. So I'm surprised that they're not better in the back end of that defense. Like you said, Mississippi State in that second half just shredded that secondary. So
Yeah.
that was really surprising. I can't believe they allowed that 28-3 comeback by Mississippi State. But and like you mentioned, going up and losing to South Carolina after
hmm
being up 14-0 in that game, uh, it just seems like this Auburn team is reeling right now. Now they're going
Yeah.
to be ready to play Alabama though. I mean, let's
Oh
let's
yeah,
make
for
no
sure.
mistake about it. They're going to be ready to play. It's in Jordan Hare Stadium. We know what crazy things can happen there, but I mean,
Voodoo.
just looking at this game, Jake, I just don't see how Auburn can win.
I mean, it's going to have to take, pretty much the Auburn Jesus comeback and a bunch of other things to go wrong for Alabama. We're going to have to drop passes that could get us, like on third and 5 situations where we drop a pass and we have to punt. If we have a couple of fumbles, but has B Rob fumbled the ball maybe once or twice this year is all. So I mean, he's pretty legit, with holding on to the ball. So it's going to be tough for them, I think.
Yeah, and real quick
Agreed,
before we,
Justin.
yeah, yeah. Uh, this is a game where someone other than J-Mo needs to show up. Billingsley, where is
Yeah,
Billingsley? Where the heck is Billingsley, man?
I don't know. He had one catch last week, and I mean, and he got what
Well,
12 yards out of it, and that was
well,
it.
yeah. I'll say this: last week, the tight ends between Latu and Billingsley had 4 targets. They caught all
Hmm.
4 passes. So,
Good.
I mean, that no drops this week. Uh, First key of the game, we have to win the mental and emotional battle. Second, seize the moment and keep it. Third, don't beat ourselves. Yeah,
That's the biggest thing.
yeah. I mean, and the truth is, and people that are Auburn fans or any other fans that are watching this right now, I mean, unless Alabama helps you, it's almost impossible to beat them.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just be
absolutely.
real. I mean, against Texas A&M, we lose by 3. If Bryce Young doesn't throw an interception in the end zone after we have a first and goal from the 3 yard line, and we decide to throw it 3 plays in a row,
Hmm.
we we at least go to overtime, or we have a chance of winning. I mean, so if Alabama doesn't do those type things, all the fumble in the red zone last week against Arkansas, the giving up the fake field goal for a touchdown. I mean, you take all that away, Jake. That's 14 points right there.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're looking at the Alabama covers the spread.
Hmm.
You take those two scenarios away from the game, and Alabama covers the spread in that contest.
Yep.
You're looking at a 42-21 game, which is what most people expected. So I mean, it's insane that uh, that this team does. It seems week in and week out, there's a play or two where they're just boneheaded.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a young team, but I just there's just mental mistakes we got to cut down. And this team that we can do it. It just I have said several times. I don't feel like we have played a full game.
No,
All 4 quarters,
Mississippi
and
State was the closest that we come
yeah,
to.
yeah. Mississippi State was the closest, but I still think our best games are ahead of us, and that's when we're going to need it because we take care of Auburn, then we're staring down the number 1 team in the nation, Georgia, and for fighting for our playoff, our playoff lives pretty much. Because if we
Right.
lose to Georgia, unless it's close, we still might get in. But I mean, with Cincinnati already in the top 4, they're not going to lose anybody else because they have cupcakes the rest of the week, rest of their schedule.
They
So
got to
they're
play
not going to
Houston.
lose.
They got to play Houston, don't they?
They might, but I don't think they're going. I don't know. Houston might beat them, but
Houston only has 1 loss. I mean, I mean,
they're pretty good.
they're a decent team. So,
Yeah,
but
but and then of course there's a couple of 1-loss teams still. I mean, I think Notre Dame's still up there, and they've only got 1 loss to Cincinnati. But I don't know. It might be hard for a 2-loss Alabama team to get in unless it's close. I think.
yeah, I mean, well, this is the way I look at it, and look. Everybody that's listening to the show knows I try to be as unbiased as possible. I mean, I'm obviously a fan of the Tide, but I mean, I try to keep it real. But if Alabama beats Auburn, takes care of them, and they lose on a field goal to Georgia. So what you're telling me is that you're going to leave a team out that lost to the hands down best team in the country on a neutral site by a field goal. How
Hmm.
how how can that team not be one of the top 4 teams?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, 100%.
And so it goes back to the point. The committee's job is to put the 4 best teams in the playoff.
Yeah.
And then people want to talk about, we need to, what about the 4 teams that deserve it most? Well, don't the 4 best teams deserve it more than anybody else?
I mean, that's what they're based on. I mean, that's what they say. They're going to get the 4 best teams.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
is anybody out there going to say Alabama's not one of the 4 best teams in the nation right now?
right. That's the question, Dave.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Hmm.
After Alabama beats Auburn, and like if they lose a close game to Georgia, there's not anybody in this country that would put their hand on the word of God and say, yeah, I don't think Alabama's not one of the 4 best teams. They wouldn't
Yeah.
do it.
No.
You hook them up to a lie detector test and you ask them that, they say, no, you're lying.
Yeah. For
People
sure.
know they're just sick of Alabama. I mean,
That's all it is.
that's what it is. I mean, it's like the Heisman race, Jake. You don't think people are sick of Alabama?
Hmm.
Listen, Bryce's Heisman odds dropped this week because of the game that JT Stroud had over Michigan State. But Jake, Michigan State had the worst ranked pass defense in the country.
Yes, I expected Stroud to do that against them. I didn't expect Bryce to have to set a single season record, or game record, against Arkansas. I knew he was having a lot of passes attempts and a lot of yardage, but I didn't expect what he did. You know,
Right. Right.
so yeah, they're sick of it. It's funny, a guy gets a record and gets dropped in a Heisman conversation. That's insane.
It's
Sa-
it's that just shows Bama fatigue.
oh yeah,
But
Saban's lost, but two coaches that come from Bama that
no,
came
just
from
one,
Bama, just
just
one.
one.
Yeah,
Jimbo Fisher early this year.
yeah, and he didn't coach it at Bama. He was just under Nick Saban's
Yeah.
little coaching tree that he's
Right.
got. So,
Right.
I've read an article today put out by AJ Spur and talking about potential like offense coordinators. Man, he's got a cool list. All five of them guys that he listed, I'd like to see. See how they do.
Not Dan Mullen.
No,
Not
not
Dan
Dan
Mullen.
Mullen. Maybe not Dan, but the other ones I'm completely fine with.
Yeah, AJ's my guy, but no Dan Mullen for me.
That he did put in there, said this might split the fan base. But I really think Dan Mullen may go after that Virginia Tech job. That just kind of fits his style.
I would stay away from Dan Mullen if I was
I would
a
too.
college program. He just doesn't seem to have the work ethic that a top flight program needs, and
Yeah,
so I would stay away from him if I was an athletic director.
yeah, and yeah, you're right, Justin. We could have seen that from a mile away.
Oh yeah, when he threw the
Yeah,
6 touchdowns, I thought, oh here we go, he's going to be the Heisman favorite now, and
yeah,
Bryce is going to drop, and then Bryce goes and has a career day, and
mhm,
yeah, Dan needs to stay away from the SEC. I
yeah.
ain't no doubt about that.
Keep his wife away from players too. I mean,
Hey
that's
Jake, I
just
want to talk about what Bo Nix said earlier this week.
oh my gosh.
Um, and okay, to begin with, I'm going to look at it from a not just from my Alabama fan perspective. I'm going to look at it from like as an outsider looking in. That is a okay. Let's say that Brian Harson is the one who said those exact words. He didn't just say that he thought officials missed a call or missed a here or missed a call there. He blatantly and explicitly said that there is a conspiracy for the SEC officials to favor Alabama. That's what he said in
Pretty
so many
much.
words.
Yeah, pretty much.
If a head coach said that, Jake, he is getting fined major bones.
Imagine if Nick Saban said something like that.
I mean, so
Yeah,
first of all, from that optics, uh, that's a bad look. Bo Nix is a snowflake who demands attention. He obviously
yeah,
didn't do his research because Alabama was the most penalized team in the
right.
SEC. Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was about to go. It's
Hmm.
so funny. Look, I will agree with anybody who says the SEC officials suck because they suck.
They're awful this year. Last
They,
couple of years.
and they get progressively worse as the years go by, and so does the replay officials. And
Yes.
it's not just against Alabama. It's not just for Alabama. It's
Hmm.
across the entire conference, Jake. They are pathetic. They cannot make up their mind what a pass interference is, what intentional grounding is, what targeting is. They don't know what they're doing, what
No.
holding is. Apparently, if somebody can, barely grab a shoulder pad, and that's a holding penalty. But if Will Anderson is being held in a headlock, that's not holding. I mean, I don't know what holding is anymore.
What's a penalty anymore? I
It's
mean,
pathetic. So if Bo Nix would have just said that, look, man, it's just SEC officiating just hasn't been great. That's one thing. But when you go as far to say that there is a conspiracy against 13 other teams within the conference, that Alabama gets all the favorable calls, that's pretty deep. So,
yeah,
oh yeah, don't forget the
yeah.
horse collar
Oh,
and,
they're
and push
pushing
off,
on.
delay a game.
Oh,
It's unbelievable.
we know about the push off on last week's game,
Right.
but
And
I'm
the
going.
and
I was just going to say you. I'm not going to look at. I'm going to be like you, neutral perspective. I'm going to look at it as an Arkansas fan. If I was an Arkansas fan, what happened last year against Auburn and Arkansas? Arkansas got screwed out on a fumble that Bo had, and they said that it was like a forward pass or something, but it was clearly a fumble or it.
Yes.
And
What?
the
Okay.
Arkansas guy picked the ball up.
Oh, I remember
Yeah,
exactly what happened.
yeah,
Auburn was in field goal range. They needed to kill the clock because they didn't have any more timeouts.
yeah.
Bo takes the snap and and downs it, but he downs it behind him,
But
which is a
yes,
fumble.
yes, that's right.
It's like trying to hand the ball off to the running back and you drop it.
Hmm.
That is
Yeah,
a fumble. Arkansas recovers it, but they
yeah,
say it's an incomplete pass. They even review it, still say it's an incomplete pass. So it's pretty rich of
yeah,
Bo Nix to be saying that another team is the team getting all the
yeah.
calls.
And
When a
yeah,
call literally cost Arkansas a win last year against them on a
yeah.
play that he made.
Exactly. And then look at this year. They, Arkansas got penalized for a pass interference, and the ball was 30 foot in the stands.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was an uncatchable ball. I don't. I
The
mean,
fourth row called it, but it was still pass interference.
yeah. I mean, so apparently, according to what these officials are saying now, there's no such thing as an uncatchable ball. You can throw it 10 yard or 20 yards in the stands, but if you're holding a guy, you're gonna get the holding. Don't matter if you can catch the ball or not. So I mean, if you're at the goal line, why not throw it in the stands and get a holding call?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I mean, it's been terrible this year, but him to say that was pretty rich, I thought, because and
Oh
everybody
yeah.
and everybody knows how lucky Auburn is at home. What kind of
Well,
luck they get.
look, I don't want to berate on Bo Nix because the truth is he's probably a pretty good kid and pretty
Yeah.
good person, but uh, I hope that somebody has talked to him about that because
Hmm.
it's one thing to question officiating. It's another thing to bring up some sort of conspiracy that the
Hmm.
SEC officiating office has it out for all 13 teams aside from Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean
Wow.
that.
Wow. Alabama is the most penalized team in the
Yeah.
SEC.
Not only is Alabama if all I know is that if the SEC officials were in our back pocket, why'd they let us lose that Texas A&M game?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, why did Malachi Moore get the ejection on the targeting call
First play of the game.
on one of the first plays of the game, and then Jaleel Billingsley literally takes a helmet right to the side of his helmet, and that
Hmm.
guy doesn't get ejected. So what I'm saying is, if we have them in our back pocket, we're obviously not paying enough because they're not doing a very good job.
No, they're not helping us out any. But
But I wanted
it's just
I
crazy.
wanted to talk about that a little bit because Jake, that's
Yeah.
just that's pretty bad. I mean, Auburn's got this creed and it's a noble creed. If you go and read their creed, it's a really noble creed. I don't want to throw shade at that, but Jake, it's almost like a cult, and you can tell that Bo Nix has grown up in an Auburn home. He's named after Bo Jackson. His dad
Yeah.
played quarterback at Auburn, so he's in he is all Auburn, no doubt,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is fine. That's great. Whatever,
Hmm.
but it just shows that is how he was kind of brought up to believe, because he said, that's kind of the way it's always been.
Not really.
Like, dude, you've lived 20 years, so you've known and watched football for maybe 10 years.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, you act like you're some 70-year-old man saying, "Man, I've been watching these guys get all the calls for the last 50 years."
Right. Yeah.
Just give me a break, man.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Take Baston Bark over Bo Nix.
I would too.
I would too. I want to circle back around to this game this week, the Iron Bowl,
Yeah.
real quick. One other thing is it needs to be mentioned, the distraction standpoint, because all week there's been a lot of talk about Harson moving to taking the Washington job because he is kind of a West Coast guy. So, I mean, is he committed to Auburn, or is he thinking elsewhere? Because they've kind of had a tough season. So that might be one other storyline to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I don't want to say I'd be surprised. I would be a little surprised if he took the Washington job because the Auburn job is better than the Washington
Oh
job.
yeah, absolutely.
So that part would surprise me. But if he wants to go back to that side of the country, I would understand that. But boy, that would really set the Auburn program back if Harson was to leave after just one season. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Lane Kiffin esque.
That's what Steven said last night. He said that it would kind of be similar to like Lane Kiffin as leaving Tennessee, and it would
Right.
probably set them back 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with that, by the way.
Right? I'm fine. I am perfectly fine with that. But I don't know. It, something. It, my brother-in-law is an Auburn fan, and he said this last weekend when I talked to him. His biggest concern is how does he recruit? Can he recruit at a high level at Auburn? And it still remains to be seen. So that if he don't want to recruit, if he can't get the recruits, then they're going to want him out, quick because they want to win at Auburn. So
Right. Yeah. That's Justin says you also have to look at where our focus is. Each time we're heavily favored, we play like we haven't practiced in 3 weeks. Well, I think that's going to be different. I mean, it's the Iron Bowl. I mean, I think that part is different. I don't I don't really agree with the part that our team isn't focused. I mean,
right,
I think it goes back to, I mean, Jake, we take everybody's best shot every
yeah.
week.
I was going
That
to
ha-
say,
that has to be
yeah,
tiresome and
right.
exhausting. I mean,
Justin, just listen to that clip that on Hey Coach that Saban said. He talks just about that and and how us fans are and what he expects from us. And it's just a great clip, man. It had me fired up. So I know the guys have probably heard that they're going to be fired up. So I have no doubt. I think we're a 19 and a half point favorite,
right,
and
right.
I think I think we covered it. I mean, honestly, this may be one of them years. I'm not going to say Auburn. We're going to keep Auburn from scoring, but it has like the 49-0 feel to it. I don't think we'll win 49-0, but I think it'll be like 42-10, 42-13 type feel to me.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I just don't see how TJ Finley and that offense is going to be able to muster more than 10 to 14 points in the game. And excuse me, the Auburn defense is going to be on the field a lot.
Hmm.
I don't see them really slowing Bryce and JMO and Mechie and those guys down consistently over 4 quarters. So I see Bama getting into the high 30s, low 40s, and Auburn being in the low teen range. So I'm right there with you. I just feel like this is a game that Alabama dominates. I think Alabama, especially after watching Nick Saban tonight,
Oof.
I feel like maybe the mindset of this team may be a little different now. And
Hmm.
maybe that message was also for his players.
Hmm.
Maybe he needed to let his players know that he's got their back, regardless of how the fans feel and how the people on the outside feel about this team. That he believes in this team, and that he thinks this team can do great things. And Jake, for all the for excuse my language, the bitching and moaning that all the fans do, we can still win a championship this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not out of the question. Right now, we're like a 3.5, 4 point underdog to Georgia. Jake, if that's a close game in the fourth quarter, I'm taking Bryce Young over Stetson Bennett.
Oh, absolutely,
I'm taking Nick Saban over Kirby Smart.
absolutely.
So, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. And so, and I brought that up to the DGD podcast last week about how because he asked me how I felt about that, and I said, man, I'll just be honest with you. If it's a close game in the fourth quarter, I'm picking Bama.
Hmm. Yeah. How can you not?
Right.
I mean, Nick Saban. If our guys are in it in the fourth quarter, he's been down that road before with Georgia. We've been down in the SEC championship game twice to them, and Saban's made led the comeback,
Right. Right.
and I think we can still do it. Justin's got a good question.
We posed this question on my show. How do you feel about inserting Jalen Moody in the starting lineup. Who are we taking out?
Well, yeah, who do you take out? I don't think you can take Toa Toa or Christian Harris out. And you're
I mean,
not going to take Turner or Will Henderson out.
he plays
Yeah,
inside, so it would have to
yeah,
be Christian Harris or
yeah.
Henry Toa. But I mean, I don't really. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're not.
Toa, no,
They're. I
Toa.
mean, Toa's got over 100 freaking tackles. I think.
Yeah, he had 14 tackles and 2 sacks against Arkansas, I think.
Yeah.
So I just, I will say Toa has gotten better each and every game. He struggled there early with positioning. He might have been out of position maybe one time in the Arkansas game, but other than that, he's right on the money.
Well,
He's finally
and
so.
and I
I
mean, I
just
don't. The there's the problem point of the defense is not inside linebacker. I'm not saying they're
no,
elite because they're not elite, but
no.
I mean, Jalen Moody's not an elite player either.
Mm,
I mean, so I don't know what you gain by that, but uh, you know, we got beat by Traylon Burks 1-on-1.
yep,
That was the problem last week.
yep.
I mean, was there one bust last week? Maybe I don't. Was there really even a bust last week?
I mean, Malachi and Joe ran into each other on a play, and that kind of got everything out of
Yeah,
sorts and let
that's
Burks open.
that's when Job jammed on 3rd and
Yes.
16.
Yep.
Here's something
Yep.
to consider: does Kirby panic and pull Stetson in favor of JT Daniels? Uh,
If it
that
happens,
that's
JT's
classic.
going to I mean, yeah, if it happens, but JT won't have any game experience this year at
Well,
least. He
well,
had some
that
last year, but
yeah, but I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if Kirby done that.
no.
Also, look for
Yeah.
George Pickens to play as well.
George Pickens will probably play. There's a lot of rumors about him playing.
But Pickens don't really bother me. I mean he's good, but he's not elite or nothing. Uh,
Yep.
GWB29 says I think we will play vanilla against Auburn, but then open the playbook on both sides of the ball against Georgia, like we did against Ohio State last year.
Last year.
Yeah, yeah, that
Mm,
was
that's fine.
that's a good point.
Hmm.
And the truth is, the offense is, especially in the passing game, is developing as the season goes on. We're seeing a lot more deep shots now
Hmm.
later in the season,
A
and
lot more accuracy out of Bryce.
Bryce is hitting those.
Hmm.
So I agree with you. I think the offensive playbook is slowly starting to open up as we progress through the season, and defensively,
Right, Justin.
yeah, Pickens isn't elite. This they, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Mechie has as many yards, and he was our third option last year.
Hmm.
So I mean, he's kind of overrated, but not that he ain't a good player. He's a really good player, but he's not elite like they make him out to be. But defensively, man, I don't get the miscommunications that we have. I don't understand that part. But I'm not there in the team meetings. I'm not there during the game plan. I'm not there on the sidelines when they're sending in the plays.
Hmm.
But that part is that's the only part of the game that I get frustrated at, other than when we try to run the ball or try to throw the ball on inside the 3 yard line, three straight plays.
Yeah. I can't remember. It might have been after the LSU game and the press conference. It might have been before that. But I remember Saban talking about the defensive struggles and how there's so much going on. Like we always talk about, there's something going on all the time. And Saban made the comment to Golden said, quit overthinking it and just get the play out there. Call play and don't change. Just let it ride, or to that effect. So maybe he's just overthinking everything too much. They
Yeah,
line up one way and then he's trying to get something out there and they just don't have enough time to do it. Just call play, and if it looks good, just let it roll. There's too much movement going on.
I agree. All right, I'm going to run Frank. I'm going to come back to yours in just a second because I want to comment on that. Uh, Justin, I've been saying that all freaking year. Why are we not simplifying the defense? We have
Yes.
we have athletes on the field. Just play a simple defense. Simple
Hmm.
defense. GWB 29. I don't think Georgia's played an offense or defense. Hill Anderson as good as ours.
Right.
And
That's
before
what I said
Arkansas,
all year.
Yeah. Well, look, Georgia has not played a quarterback or in a wide receiver combination like Mechie and Williams
Hmm.
like this all year. I mean, they have not been tested. The biggest test at quarterback they faced all season is Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
So what does that tell you?
and Tennessee don't have the talent level we do.
Exactly. All right, now I want to go back to Frank's comment
Yeah,
because this is something that I thought about all week. We saw a little more of it against Arkansas,
yeah, Justin, that's right.
but he says, let me find it again here.
He said the only way Auburn can stop Alabama's offense is if they can effectively blitz. The Alabama's offensive line has given up 29 sacks and ranks 92nd in the country. Hopefully, the extra tight end / right tackle stays in to block to protect Bryce. Thank you, Frank. There you go.
Yeah, Frank, I am 100% with you on this. I like the extra protection for Bryce with Kendall Randolph,
Hmm.
because the truth is Mechie and Williams, just play those two at wide receiver. They are more than capable of getting open against the secondary, and we know what Bryce can do when he has time to throw the football. So I am 100% with you. Uh, do run a 6-man protection, 7 every once in a while by keeping it back in there. So I agree, Frank.
Yes.
That's great input there.
Hmm.
I'm with you on that. I think that would be a great a way to kind of help protect Bryce moving forward. And I think we'll probably see a lot of that against Georgia.
Yeah, and GWB 29. One of your, I want to make a comment real quick on your comment. I heard a lot of people say, well, Georgia played this same Arkansas team, and they dominate them. Okay, there's a difference. KJ Jefferson and Traylon Burks was injured, and both played and hurt in that game. Now I know Traylon was really hurting in our game, and he still showed out, which is great for him. He's a great athlete, and he's gonna get his stats. But KJ had zero effect on running the ball against Georgia because he wasn't healthy.
Yeah, they didn't even
So
try to run him.
no, he ran against us a pretty good bit a little when he needed to. So it was a totally different offense when that we had against than Georgia had because they were a lot more effective. And KJ Jefferson had a lot more experience, when coming in later in the season playing us than he did when he was playing against Georgia. So that's
Yeah,
that's different. And
yeah.
Corey, what's got me so fired up is y'all finally got rid of your idiotic coach. Corey's my buddy from school, and he's a Florida fan. So, um, yeah, that's what's got me fired up. He should have been gone a long time ago. At least he should have got rid of daggone Todd Grantham about 3 years ago. He might still have his job today. But anyway, and yes, Justin Randolph was solid against Arkansas. I mean, he played great, and that 6-man protection really worked well. So I'm hoping that that continues.
Yeah. Just so looking at the box score of the Arkansas
Yes,
Georgia game,
Justin.
uh, Jefferson only threw it 13 times,
Yeah. So
and he only ran
yeah.
it 8 times.
Hmm.
So I mean, so
He was not 100%.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
I do think. See, I'll GWB. I'm sorry, man. I do not want Dan Mullen.
Stacey is not on the Dan Mullen train.
I do not want him anywhere near the program. That dude is weird. And look, I think, look, he done a good job at Mississippi State, no doubt, but he never gets the Florida job if he didn't have Dak Prescott.
No, he doesn't.
If he would have never found Dak Prescott, and if Dak Prescott didn't play the way he played in college, then Dan Mullen never even gets that opportunity at Florida. So I think that Dan Mullen's just a little bit overrated. He's a good coach
Hmm.
at a place like Mississippi State, where you win 6, 7 games, and every once in a while win 8 or 9, and they're happy.
Hmm.
But I don't want him anywhere near the program because I just feel like he's got a bad attitude. And yeah, we'll just wait for Sark to get
Yeah,
fired.
it may happen this year. It's not
that's
looking
probably
good in
that's pro-
Austin.
that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Frank Kool Aid played Burke straight up much better than 28 did. Uh, yeah, but it was very limited. But
Yeah.
yeah, but and that's the thing about playing corner. you know, nobody remembers the good you done. You only get remembered for the bad plays. So uh, he got beat on the 101 where Burks pushed off,
Yeah.
and then he got caught jamming and then ran into Malachi Moore and was beat. So everybody remembers those plays, but there was a lot more pass plays in that game than just those two. So, but yeah, I do think Kool-Aid, and it wouldn't surprise me if Kool-Aid is the guy this Saturday. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I'll be fine with that. But Job, he's played well up to that, up until Saturday. He got beat on a couple though, and then of course that one fluke play against Tennessee where he was trying to get the call from the sideline and they just quick snapped it and ran right past him. That's not really his fault. But out of the corners, Jalen Armour Davis has played outstanding, and I mean I'm glad we get him back another year. I mean he is more of the lockdown corner type person that I thought Joe was going to be that guy, but JAD has played outstanding, and I've been really impressed with him. And we've talked about it. He's probably been the most consistent player in the secondary all year. Now I know Jordan Battle is starting to come along, but Jalen Armour Davis has played great all year, not just some of the year.
well, hey, I'll say this. Looking at some of the comparison stats between Job and McKinstry, and it's really not fair because McKinstry hasn't played near as much as Job,
Hmm.
but Job allows a fewer yards per catch attempt than McKinstry does. His
Hmm.
pass breakup percentage is larger than McKinstry's is.
Hmm.
So now Job does give up a completion percentage that is greater than McKinstry's, but so I don't think it's clear cut as what some people would like to think that Kool-Aid is better than Job. And here's the weird thing about Job. He's probably what 6'1",
Yeah.
195 pounds.
Hmm.
Probably runs a pretty good time. He's always in good position. When I say always, I mean more than 90% of the time he's in good position. But for whatever reason, he cannot make a play on the ball.
Yeah.
He just can't do it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah. He's
you
six
know,
one.
yeah, and McKinstry is a guy who I think is a playmaker. I mean, he's a guy who could play on the offensive side of the ball. So,
Yeah.
so maybe his playmaking ability will be enough to kind of overtake Joe at that other corner spot. But yeah, Jalen Armour Davis has been a stud this year. Uh, it's hard to complain about the way he's played this season.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him, and it was kind of funny that coming into the season, we knew he was going to be fine, but he was, I guess, one of the weak links in the secondary because we didn't know how, no experience really how he was going to be, but he's come in and done great, and Job just I still believe Job is really good. He just had a just a bad game last Saturday, but he's still gonna be fine. And if we need McKinstry, that's fine too. But we're fine. I think the secondary, beside those couple of plays, is getting better because, like we said, Jordan Battle's playing lights out here lately. He's playing his best ball right now. So,
Yeah, now he did. See, and Job got beat on that one touchdown,
mhm,
but Battle overran the play.
I know.
He overran the
Yep.
play,
Yep.
and he could have saved a touchdown there.
Hmm.
Does it feel like our defensive line doesn't get a lot of quarterback pressure? Of
Hmm.
course, Will Anderson is our MVP this season. Well, Mathis has what 5.5 sacks this year.
Yeah.
I think LeBron Ray has 1.5. Byron Young has 2. I think I don't think that the defensive line has been elite by any stretch, but they probably get a little bit overshadowed because of how well Will Anderson has played, and then how well Dallas Turner has played over the last month.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably better than what it feels like, but it's not elite or anything. But it's good enough.
Yeah. And Tim Smith had a pretty good game in DJ Dell's absent last week. So,
Right.
is there any update on Dell? Was it
You
serious or anything? Or
that's something I have not even
I
kept
haven't
up with.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Mathis has been killing it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. When Byron Young is healthy and on top of his game,
Hmm.
he is
Speaking
he's something
speaking
else.
speaking of healthy, LeBron Ray is starting to look like he's getting healthy, and I think as the season progresses, now we're getting closer to the end of the season. But come playoff time, maybe even the SEC championship time, he's getting there. He's getting the backfield a lot more now. I've noticed. So I think he's
Yeah,
getting healthy.
yeah, you're right, Frank. He's just he never gets his head turned around. That's what I
Hmm.
mean. He just cannot, play the ball when it's in the air for whatever reason because nine times out of ten he is on the receiver like stink on crap
Yeah.
because he has great athleticism, he has great length, great speed and technique, but other than when the ball is at the catch point, when the ball is at the catch point, he just cannot make a play.
Yeah, Dallas Turner is the dark horse of our defense, and he come in. He's actually the third guy to play at that position because Christopher Allen would be there if he's not injured. But when he went down, Drew Sanders stepped in and did really well, I thought too. But we talked about this. It might have been on our last show, Stacey. It might have been a week or two ago, though. you know, now Drew Sanders is getting healthy, but how do you take Dallas Turner out of that lineup? Because now he spells, Will Anderson. Because if you try to double team, Turner, Will Anderson's going to get the quarterback, and if you try to double team Will Anderson, Turner's going to get the quarterback. So
Right.
it's just a different dynamic than what Drew Sanders brought. But Drew Sanders played outstanding when he had his time as well. But you just can't take Dallas Turner out now, I don't think.
Where do we rank Will Anderson in our Saban era linebackers? Wow.
Ooh, we might need to update our rankings. We did that a few years ago. We went through quarterback, running back.
Man. Wow.
He's top
Well,
five.
he's already. I'll be honest with you. He if he's not number one right now, he'll be number one when it's all said and done because he's got
Yeah,
another year left.
no, that that's scary for other teams, and that's scary for the SEC.
And look, and I'm not picking on his game, but he really doesn't use any moves. He just beats dudes with his
Yeah,
athleticism.
yeah. He does that little stutter step, like right at the line of scrimmage, and does stunts, and just he just when he does a stunt, he gets through that hole real quick, and you just can't catch up to him as a lineman. A lot of people talk about him being compared to Derek Thomas, and that is high praise.
Is that nuts? I mean, I never thought there would be another player that could affect a game like Derek Thomas did. But
Yeah,
but Will Anderson is a difference maker.
he is.
He is a difference maker.
Without
And
him, this defense would be a lot different. Would look a lot different.
and guys, I'm just being completely honest. If he was draft eligible this year, I think he could possibly be the top pick in the draft.
Absolutely. There's not really star-studded, pick this year.
Right. I mean,
So
I'd have to look at it closer, but I mean, is Matt Corral maybe the top quarterback in the class, or
maybe.
I mean, not that he's not really good, but I mean, I would have to go Will Anderson.
And Detroit will probably have that first pick, and they need defensive help because they're awful on
They
defense.
they need everything help.
Yeah, pretty much. So they might take him, but yeah, next year we're looking at Bryce Young and Will Anderson probably one and two either way in the draft next year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thibodeau's a really good player. Yeah, Cincinnati's quarterback, Desmond Ritter, he'll be talked about there as well for the top
Hmm.
quarterback in the draft. I'm sure that around combine time, he'll test really well. He's going to be 6'4", 6'5",
Hmm.
225. He'll probably run a 4.5 or a 4.6, and he's probably got really good arm strength. So, all them gurus are going to be you know gloating over him. So uh, it's he'll get a lot of talk. You're right. Funny
That's
thing is
true.
that Anderson, yeah,
I didn't think
and
about
is
that.
that yeah, but he'll be gone after next year,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Speak, and our buddy Michael Cassandra,
Casa Grande.
yeah, he made the comment the other day. I think he asked somebody why Will Anderson wasn't up for the top linebacker award. It was Thibodeau and a few others, but I mean, how do you not have Will Anderson, who leads the nation in tackles for loss, and don't he lead nation in sacks too?
I think so.
How do you not have him in there? I mean, he is the definition of the best linebacker in college football.
Bama fatigue, bud.
Oh,
Bama fatigue.
that's what it is. That's all it is. That's all you can say it is.
By the way, speaking of awards, and we're fixing to wind the show down, we'll give our official score predictions for the Iron Bowl here in just a minute. But speaking of awards, I mean, it's looking like Jamison Williams could potentially win the Bolitnikoff. I mean,
Hmm.
who had Jamison Williams, as one of the best wide receivers in the country going into the season?
I mean, we knew he was probably going to be explosive, but I mean, being one of the best, probably not. But I thought Mechie would have that honor on our
What?
team, but
And Mechie's right behind him, man. I mean,
I
he's
know.
he's he's closing in on 1,000 yards.
Hmm.
We're gonna have 2,000 yard receivers, 1,000 yard back, a 4,000 yard passer when it's all said and done. That's nuts,
And the leading sack and tackle for loss leader,
right?
more than likely.
Right.
And
See,
then
okay.
people still are not happy with this team.
Thank you, thank you.
What I mean, again, we're spoiled. What more? What more could you want out of this
And
team?
and
I mean,
and I think that's why Saban said what he said tonight during Hey Coach is that
yep.
um, I think we kind of get caught up emotionally in the game as fans, and we kind of lose sight of how much the players put into each game and each week, each practice, and how much they have to work to just be able to get out there and perform on Saturday. And you know, I know they have NIL deals now, but they're not professional athletes, Jake. They're still college students. They have tests to take. They have uh, certain dates they have to make to for
Hmm.
projects to be done. So it's not just like football is the only thing in their life right now.
Right.
So and you go to college to grow and learn, and
Right.
and I know they're there on scholarship to play football, but uh, I know as fans we'd like for it to be football only, but that's just not the
No.
case.
Right. And Saban has stressed time and time again that he would rather see somebody get their diploma because who knows if they're going to make it in the NFL. What you're one bad blown knee out for not not having an NFL career, and guess what? You need your diploma to fall back on.
That's right.
So I don't, he's all about school. And I mean, he loves football, but he wants them guys to get their degree as well.
Yep. If nobody else has anything left to say in the chat, we're gonna start winding things down here. We've been going for an hour,
Wow.
but we appreciate everybody interacting in the chat. It was a lot of fun. Jake, before we head out, man, won't you give us your official score prediction for the Iron Bowl and offensive MVP and defensive MVP?
I'm going 45-13. Um, I think it's going to be way too much Alabama. Auburn they're just struggling right now. They're going to come out and play hard. I mean, it may be close to halftime, but I think second half Alabama pulls away. And offensive MVP, we can't do Will Anderson. I think I'm going to go with somebody hadn't picked this yet. I think Philadelphia Mathis is going to have a big game. So
Like it.
I'm going to go Philadelphia Mathis. And offensively, I'm going to go with man, this is tough because we can't pick Bryce. We really don't want to pick Mechie or Williams because they're going to both have over 100 yards probably. And B Rob's going to do his thing. I'm going to say Cameron Latou. I think he's going to have a pretty decent day as well.
All right, real quick, GWB29 says, I don't understand why James Franklin got a big contract extension. Me either.
Me either.
Justin, great show as always, guys. Appreciate you, Justin. Really appreciate you watching.
Thank
Trey
you.
Sanders, That's a good. That's a good pick.
Oh,
That is a
dang!
good
I didn't.
pick.
I didn't think. Thank you, Justin. That is a good pick. One thing I want to say real quick before you say something. I meant to say this a couple minutes ago when I was talking about the Arkansas game. But is it Armand Brooks that number 7 wide receiver for us that played
Hush, hush. Ja'Cory Brooks.
the
That's
Corey Brooks? Yeah.
that's my
Well,
pick.
well,
Hush.
I know. I'm just going to talk about. He is a daggum good blocker because when Mechie got, they just did a little swing pass out to him. He was blocking one guy. That guy got around him, but there was another guy right there behind that guy. He just pushed him down and ran over. I was like, man, he's a damn good blocker.
Yeah.
So I was
Well,
really impressed with him.
well. That was going to be my sleeper pick of the game was Ja'Cory Brooks.
I like it. I
But
like it.
obviously I got Alabama winning. I'm going to say it's going to be. What did you say? So I don't copy your score
40,
exactly.
45-13.
Okay, I'll say 42-13 then.
There we go. I got
Somewhere
an
right
extra
in
field
there.
goal in there.
Yeah, but offensively, I want I'm looking for Ja'Cory Brooks. We need a third wide receiver to step up. I think it's going to be Brooks. I think he's going to do it this week to give that Georgia defense something else to prepare for when we face them in the SEC championship game. Defensively, I am going to go with. Good Lord,
I know it's tough.
give me Jordan Battle.
That's a good one. That's a good one. He's playing lights out right now.
Yes, thank you, GWB 29
Yes.
basketball team tomorrow against Iona. Going to get a win there.
Yep.
Auburn Jesus keeps it close, 42-31. God,
Yeah. Please.
I hope not.
I know. GWB, yes. We beat Kansas to win the tournament, and then we set up the December 4th matchup, possibly
Oh my
number
God!
1 Gonzaga versus number 2 Alabama.
And that's the same day as the SEC championship game.
And we're going to go 2-0 in both of them games. I'm just telling you. I feel it. We're going.
Okay, regardless of
It,
what Alabama does this week,
mhm,
if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then
mhm.
the basketball team goes and beats Gonzaga
I'm going to be
on the
unbearable.
hoops, I will be insufferable.
I will. I will too.
I will get blocked by so many people on Twitter that night.
I would too. But Nate Oates is building a monster, and we talk about this all the time, man. I'm so glad we got him, and he's loving it down there. He's building a monster. We got to keep him. So we can talk another hour about the basketball team because I just love talking about it. Because it's so
Yeah,
much fun right
it
now,
is.
man.
Dude, they're a
It
fun
is.
team to watch. They're
They
fun.
are.
They're JD Davidson is what I love is Bediako. Man, I
Oh
mean,
man.
he is a quiet guy who gets you double figure points. I mean, he's
Yeah.
averaging right around 10 points a game.
Yep.
My cousin Vinny, yes sir.
Yes.
I love that. That's a great movie, by the way.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
uh
And then we're gonna get Gary back for this tournament. Sounds like so that's gonna help too.
yeah, I seen obviously that they posted a video on Twitter today, and it looked like he was going through the warm ups with the team and
Yep.
back at practice. So hopefully he'll be back. That's just a extra energy guy who plays
Yep.
hard and going to get you some rebounds. So and Keon Ellis, he is
Oh
similar to
man.
Herb, but his offensive game is far more advanced than what Herb's
Yes.
is. Yeah, he's a better shooter for sure. And I really like Keon Ellis. That dude's a dog.
JWB, if you want to hang out, I got another hour to kill. Hell, I ain't doing nothing tomorrow. I'm off. I'm just gonna be eating all day. So hell, let's burn another hour talking about the basketball team.
Yeah, we'll we'll
Yeah.
we'll, we'll,
Yeah.
we'll stay on here a few minutes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about the matchup. Of course, get to play Rick Pitino again. That's who Alabama played in the tournament last year, and I think they got about a 13-point win last year. I think it
Yeah.
was 65-52 was the final.
Something like that.
That's just off the top of my head, but somewhere around there. But 68-55, somewhere in that
Yeah.
range. But I know they lost some guys, but we lost some guys too, and still trying to find our way. It's still early in the season. You're really what played 4 or 5 games so far, so you're still kind of figuring out your rotation. So there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered, but I really like what I'm seeing from this team. Jaden Shackelford is really consistent this year. He's averaging 20 points a game, and that's not just because he's had a 40-point game and then a 10-point game.
No,
He,
he's been
he's
having 20.
he's averaging 20. I mean, he's getting
Mm-hmm.
about 20 points every single night, and of course Quinterly's going to get his.
I'm glad they
JD
come
da-
back.
and JD Davidson, he is so good. Not only with the ball, but he's really good without the ball. He's good at setting his teammates up. He rebounds. He plays hard on defense. He's still learning how to play collegiate defense, but he's getting there. He's definitely athletic enough, and has the physical traits to be a great defender at the college level and beyond. So he will get there. But you're right. That's where I was going with this GWB. He is going to have one of those games where you're like, yeah, that's why that dude was a McDonald's All American, because he's gonna break out for 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, and just gonna blow up. And it could be at any moment. And he's definitely capable of that. And he's gonna remind people why he was a 5-star McDonald's All American.
Absolutely, and I yeah, and you're right. We do have an easier matchup and to get in the championship. So yeah, I think it'd be Alabama and Kansas, and man, it's great times right now. The women's basketball team got to win tonight, so I think they had one bad loss to I think you're what Northwestern something like that. It wasn't
Yeah, I can't remember who it
yeah.
was now.
But other than that, they've looked really well. They got some good young girls on that team that's really talented. So it's just great to be an Alabama fan. If you're not a tier one FOG as we call it, a fog, a football only gump, you actually watch all the sports like we do and keep up with it. It's fun times right now. So
No doubt.
yeah, I mean softball and baseball is about to get started up here pretty soon. So in a couple months. So it's how good both of them are getting. As baseball team is getting there, and the softball team is there.
Right.
So and
Yeah, GWB, no doubt. We peaked about, I don't know, 2 weeks early last year, but it's hard to complain. Get a SEC regular season SEC title, SEC tournament championship, and then made a run to the Sweet 16. So hard to complain on that. But yeah, we peaked about 2 weeks early on our shooting.
yeah,
Love dropping the 21 threes LSU.
shit,
Golly,
I know
I
against
I
FBI Wade.
I think I hate LSU basketball more than I hate LSU football.
Yeah, I do too. And GWB, I don't know if you called one of our. It might have been our preview of the basketball team with Lane, but Stacey made the comment, and I loved it because it was true. Nate Oates, West won't have a tough schedule leading up because we may be 8-8 leading to the SEC. Starting the SEC play, but we went on that tear in the SEC because we knew how our team was going to be, and we already had a good solid core and how it was going to play with each other. But if you look at Arkansas, they played a weak non-conference schedule. They got an SEC play, and we stomped them,
Yeah,
and they struggled for a couple. So having these tough opponents like Nate Oates is doing, he's getting the team ready for the March Madness, for those teams that we may play in the first 2 rounds, getting the Sweet 16. He's getting the team prepared for that. So I love how he's handling things because he wants us to be at our best when we get into conference play.
right. Yeah, you're right. Not having Bruner and Primo during the tournament was
Yeah,
it hurt the team. You got to have all hands on deck when you get to the NCAA tournament. If we would have just had Primo, I think it could have turned out differently. If he
yeah.
would have been 100% healthy. But really love the basketball talk. We'll talk more basketball coming up soon. We're gonna wind down tonight's episode. It was really just supposed to be an Iron Bowl preview, and it somehow
Well,
turned into a bunch of other nonsense. But
I'm fine
that's
with that. We just have fun.
that's what we like to do here on the Tide Talk podcast.
Yeah,
Everybody that was in the chat, we really appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank
Just
you.
so everybody knows, we're moving over onto a different streaming platform. We've switched from StreamYard to Restream, so we don't have any graphics or an overlay or anything yet. We're working on that. We're working on new podcast cover art. we're working on a bunch of new things. So 2022 is going to be a big year for the Tide Talk podcast. We're hoping that's when we start to roll out some new things there. So we're really excited about that, and we're excited for everybody to be watching and listening. And we certainly appreciate everybody that was in the chat tonight and kept the conversation going. Justin and GWB29, we appreciate y'all, and Frank.
Frank.
So really enjoyed the conversation. Everybody brought something a little different, and it was a lot of fun. It's Thanksgiving talk. Let's.
uh, well, I'm on a diet, so I'm going to try to stay to my one, but I'm going to make it have like a mountain. I'm going to make it be like a mountain on that one plate. I'm going to put everything I can on there.
Okay, so my Thanksgiving. I don't know how many you got to go to tomorrow, Jake.
I got 2 tomorrow.
Okay, we got two too. We have one with my wife's mother, and we call it breakfast, but it don't start till 10. So I'm gonna be starving when I get there because 10 o'clock is not breakfast time.
No.
So I'm gonna eat entirely way too much then. I don't have a lunch. I have supper with my dad at like 5:30 or 6. So luckily, I have a pretty good window to kind of let everything digest and get the appetite back before supper gets around. So I'll have several servings at each of my stops.
Mine's at 12 and 4, so I've only got like a 2.5, 3 hour period to try to digest and get mine
Your
swimmer
poor
down.
gallbladder.
Oof. my poor intestines. It's gonna be rough.
What about you? What about you, GWB? I mean,
Yeah,
I'll ask you this: what's your favorite Thanksgiving, uh, I guess, thing to eat?
yeah. What's your favorite?
Your
Your main course meal, like ham, turkey, chicken and dressing, turkey and dressing, whatever. And then what's your favorite dessert? My
what's
favorite
yours?
dessert is mine's pecan pie or pecan pie or pecan. There was a you know people don't know how to say it right. It just what's your preference?
I don't even know what the correct way to say it is.
I
I've
don't
always
either.
said I've always said pecan.
Pecan, yeah. But I've heard pecan. I've heard
Yeah.
pecan. But I saw somebody draw a little thing the other day. It says, "This is a pecan." It had a person peeing in the can. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So,
But I like pecan pie might be my favorite too. But my stepmom, she makes some mean peanut brittle.
oh yeah,
Anybody that's had peanut brittle, man, I love that.
that's standard down here in the South. Peanut
Yeah.
brittle, it's king around here. I like a good chocolate pie too, but you know, chocolate chip cookies and all that. Check out the egg bowl. The egg bowl
Oh,
is tomorrow night. I'm
the
I'm
the
all for it.
the egg bowl is a tradition at the Blackwood home
Yeah.
at my dad's on Thanksgiving night. So we will definitely be watching that. Can't go wrong with
Over,
what?
I was gonna say over under 2 people hiking their legs in this game, like they did.
I don't think it'll happen this year.
Nah, I don't think so either. But peanut
Can't go.
butter pie, I forgot about that.
That's good. That's good. Can't
Yeah.
go wrong with turkey and dressing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Classic.
it's pecan pie is just one of those things that. And all right, let me ask you this: homemade? Is it homemade pecan pie?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
I I like homemade pecan pie, obviously depending on who makes it, but
Hmm.
Edwards makes a incredible pecan pie,
Yeah. For
frozen.
sure. Yeah. I've had that before too. Really good. The press conferences after the Egg Bowl. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean Mike Leach
Oh my
is like,
gosh.
he might be, I think as far as an attention grabber, Lane Kiffin is better in that regard. But as far as just pure entertainment, I got to give that to Mike Leach.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, his whole candy speech after whatever game it was a few weeks back, dude, that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
That was. and he's always talking about a pirate. He's pirate ships and pirate buried treasure and Bigfoots, UFOs. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of Mike Leach.
Yeah, that's not the kind of weird that I think Dan Mullen
No,
is. I
no.
think I mean, have you seen what he lets his wife do with the players? I mean, she locks lips with players.
Yeah,
I just, you know,
I just nah.
whatever floats your boat, man.
I mean, I wouldn't let my wife do that to any other players. I mean, what the crap? That's crossing the line. I mean, that's almost like swingers right there. I mean, that's just that ain't right at all. I mean, she's like grabbing their face and like touching it, and I mean, yeah, it's weird.
Dude, yes, I remember listening to Jocks when they had Mike Leach on. I always enjoyed that. Mike Leach he is an interesting person.
He is. I'm glad he's in the conference, and I'm glad he's winning because I was afraid if they didn't start winning, he might have been gone. But
Well,
you know,
this year is exactly what Mike Leach is going to be at Mississippi State from now until either they decide to fire him or he moves on or he retires or whatever it is. What are they? Were they 6-5 right now?
yeah, and have a chance to win 7 games, maybe
Yeah,
8, depending on this game, and then
right.
in the ball game.
They're going to win between 6 and 8 ball games every single year. Uh, maybe one year they go 5-7, but then the next year with all the guys coming back, they go, 8-4. So,
Did not
did
know
y'all
that.
what?
I did not know that.
I've never watched the series Friday Night Lights. Full
I hadn't
disclosure.
either. Yeah, I haven't either. Need to check that out.
Is it good? I've never watched one single episode of the show.
I hadn't either.
Give me a rating out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Justin, how good is Friday Night Lights? I cannot believe there are people still watching this catastrophe of a podcast, Jake.
We went from the Iron Bowl preview to everything, but thank you all for hanging in there
No
with us.
doubt, hanging in there with us.
100, I should say 120 hours, an hour and 20 minutes. Wow, if it was on an hour 120
To
hours,
some people watching, it may feel like 120 hours.
I look like I've been on here 120 hours. I'm getting bags under my eyes just sitting here. Looks like, but man,
Oh,
this has been fun.
9
A
out
9
of 10.
out of 10. I
Okay,
have Netflix. There
I
you
do
go.
too. Okay, so Jake, I would hope you have Netflix. I mean, it's
Yeah.
2021.
Oh,
Uh,
I jailbroke my Fire Stick, so I got everything. Florida closures.
shh. But okay, we may need to have some sort of episode. Maybe we can do this in the off season on some TV shows and okay, because I know another popular show. I know it's no longer on the air. Is Game of Thrones. I've never seen 1 second of Game of Thrones.
I've watched just bits and pieces, but it is if you can get into it, it's pretty entertaining. But I just gotta sit down and watch TV. I don't do a lot. This is my game room. All you can see is a big stop sign behind me, but this is my game room. So I'm in here like most of the time I'm at home. So I don't watch a lot of TV.
Justin,
I'll do
that
that.
sounds
Okay.
awesome. That
Yeah.
that sounds like a fun. We'll plan something out. Uh, see when is maybe we can plan it before the bowl season really starts, or
Yeah, that's
somewhere in
fine.
that time frame.
That's fine. What is that, Justin? You may know there was a
Titans on HBO
yeah.
Max. I'll check it out.
There was it's another football show that had the Blue Mountain State or something. It was a movie though, and I cannot think what it was called. But I watched it and it was really good. It had James Vanderveer in it. I think he was the star quarterback.
No, Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues. That's it. Yeah,
Oh yeah, dude, that's a
yeah,
great movie.
yeah.
That's a
Love
classic.
it. That is. I love that movie.
That is a classic.
Yeah. I don't know where did I get Blue Mountain State. I don't know. I'm brain dead. I am
Blue
brain dead.
Mountain State.
I'm just making something up, trying to, you know.
Oh
Oh man,
man,
this train has went way
derailed.
off the derail a long time ago. Oh
Uh,
man, that's great.
all right,
This
hey,
is this is a fun show, guys. Thank
yeah,
y'all.
hey, there's still people watching this, Jake. Several. So,
What?
Waterboy's the best football movie. I'm not open for
Uh,
debates.
yes, I love the Water Boy. I love Mama. Yeah,
It's hard to beat the Waterboy. You're right,
yeah.
but um,
I don't know. Remember the Titans is probably my favorite.
Friday Night Lights, the movie's really good.
Friday Night Lights is really good. Um,
Man,
remember the Titans, and what was the other one? It was that. Oh gosh,
that's
it
the
was
story.
the.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
the story
Waterboy
goes
story.
right. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
exactly. Yes. Um, what was the? It was more of a along the lines of a Christian movie, but it was a football movie. I cannot think of what it was called, but it
Oh,
I
Facing the Giants.
yes, I
Yeah,
love that one too.
that is a
Had a
good
good
movie.
that had a good story in it. So,
Yeah,
and of course, We Are Marshall. That is probably another classic movie.
yeah, yeah. That one kind of gets forgotten about, but that was a
Yeah,
really good movie. I really
it
enjoyed
was.
that movie.
I did too. Facing the Giants.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, Facing Giants is great. Yes. But William Marshall, like you said, does get overlooked. But it talks about that history and the plane crash. It was amazing. Gridiron Gang. That's another good
yeah,
one.
yep. Okay, all right. So we're gonna have to do something here. Let's because me and Jake, neither one really watch a lot of TV shows,
Hmm.
so we
If we're
need
gonna
some.
keep continuing, I gotta get a dip.
Okay, hey man, hey, I'm gonna make a T-shirt. Me and this guy at work has come up with this genius idea for a T-shirt. Keep calm, and pack that lip.
Hmm.
I think those that would sell like hotcakes, man.
I'd buy one.
But so me and Jake need some. Yeah, longest yard. Yeah, how did we
Hmm.
not mention that before? Gotham. I have watched all but the last season of Gotham. That's a really
Never
good
watched
show.
it.
Really good show.
I haven't watched a. No, Justin, you may know, but JWB, Stacey does a podcast, another podcast, The Blacklist,
Yeah.
and I've been wanting to watch it because I mean it's entertaining. I watched a little bit, just episodes that Stacey have on when we go hang out. But I really want to get into it and watch it because it looks amazing.
Oh, it's a great show. Great show. Jane Spader is the main character, and he
Hmm.
is freaking awesome.
Yes.
But but what is yeah? What is some shows that while people are still watching this for whatever reason, um
I,
um what if you're watching? Get in the chat and tell us your favorite TV show, past or present. Yes, James Spader's an icon. He was born to
yes.
play the role of Raymond Reddington.
Has he
Inc-
ever won an award for it though? Has he won an award yet for it?
no, which is a
That's a
disgrace.
yes. That's a shame. That's a bull crap.
If you don't, if you have never watched the show, just get on YouTube and search Raymond Reddington monologue. There's going to be about 100 of them, and every one of them you could say, "How did he not win an Emmy just for that scene?" I'm serious. Just do it. Do yourself a
Ju-
favor and watch it.
Justin, you talked about the Marvel shows, but did you watch the Avengers Endgame? Because if you did, I'm just going to tell myself me and my wife went and watched the movie theaters, and that last big fight against Thanos. I mean, I was in tears. Everybody in that movie theater is in tears. And whenever you hear Avengers Assemble, you know,
Dude,
I
dude,
mean,
I
we
got
all
chi-
jumped up. Oh yeah,
I got
I
chills
know,
right now.
I know, man. I mean, that was just like, oh my gosh, you know, and we went dry eye in that place. It was so amazing.
I know I've seen bits and pieces of Boston Legal, but I've never watched it from start to finish. But I would like to watch it because he was hilarious in that.
Stacey, you remember we had an old TV show that we used to watch with our grandparents called Jag. You remember it?
Oh yeah,
I
Jag.
loved that show. Yeah,
I have not. I have
there's
not
still
thought about that show in
reruns.
years.
There's still some reruns I catch every once in a while. I'll just flip it on and watch. Um,
Okay, for the handful of people still watching, get in the chat right now and tell us your favorite TV show, past or present.
we
The
got 100
Office.
messages in the chat now. Thank you
The
guys.
The Office.
Yeah,
Yes, The Office is one of my favorite shows of all time. I have it on repeat. I mean, I've probably seen all 9 seasons 9 times. And I love all the Marvel stuff. I've yet to watch Loki,
I haven't either.
I have not watched WandaVision, so I have not watched those yet. But I do want to watch them.
Speak,
But usually what I do is I work a lot and I do this, and I also write part time for Roll Tide Wire, but so I don't have a lot of free time. But when I get off, around Christmas and the New Year, I usually stay up around the clock watching stuff on TV. So I try to catch up on stuff then. So I'll probably catch up on Loki or something else.
yeah,
If they Brooklyn 99, yeah, that's really funny. That's a really
yeah.
good show.
Uh, JWB and Justin, have you guys seen The Witcher yet?
I haven't seen it.
It's see, I'm a gamer, so I
Hmm.
know. Like I said, I play video games. I fell in love with the Witcher series on the gaming.
Walker,
So
Texas Ranger, yes.
yes, yes. Uh,
Chuck Norris, baby.
so I love The Witcher, and Henry Cavill plays Geralt, and that was the perfect guy to play Geralt in that, in my personal opinion. So
I have to
it's
watch it.
yeah. Um,
Another friend of mine told me about that show just this week that I need to watch that.
Yeah. So it is really good. Superman and Lois is very good. Um, also, there's another one on Amazon Prime. They had a new season coming out. I haven't watched the new season yet, but it was called The Boys. It was about how this ragtag group of people were actually going after superheroes because there's actually bad. So I'm sure that is great. Yes,
That's awesome that you met Chuck Norris. That's incredible.
yes, it is.
I watched Walker Texas Ranger every single day as a kid. That is not no joke. I watched it every single day,
Hmm.
and I watched In the Heat of the Night, another old show.
Oh wow, yeah.
Uh,
Another a show that I watched as a kid, or I still watch it once in a while. It's a movie actually, but it's called you may have seen it too, Stacey, because we watched over at Nanny's all the time. Seven Brides, Seven Brothers.
oh God, I forgot about that movie.
Yes, I love it. One of my favorite movies of all time.
What was that one movie, Jake? Uh, the Buttercream Gang.
Yes,
All right. If anybody that is watching this, if you've ever seen the Buttercream Gang, please tell us in the chat.
yes, please. We
Is
still
that
got
what
a
it?
lot of people in chats.
Showing five still in here
Oh,
now.
thank you. The Berry was that the butter? Oh, let me look.
I think it was the Buttercream Gang.
I don't know if I want to put in buttercream on Google. I might not be happy about that.
And Jake, for all I know, that could be the cheesiest movie ever made. But I remember we loved it as kids growing up.
Yes, yes. Oh, Flashpoint movie. I've heard about it. I haven't watched it yet. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I don't remember it.
Uh-uh.
Huh. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it was called the Buttercream Gang.
I'm glad you looked it up, not me. Flashpoint Paradox is fire. Apparently I gotta check this Flashpoint out. I'll tell you, any movie that's got John Wayne in it too, I'm watching. I will sit down and watch a John Wayne movie.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean that if you're an American, you have to sit down and watch a John Wayne movie.
Yeah.
Has anybody here watched Lonesome Dove?
Oh
Don't it
yeah.
come out usually around this time anyway?
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh
it's
yeah.
like a 2 week marathon. I
Dude,
mean,
that's a classic.
it is a classic.
Okay. Yellowstone. Y'all watch Yellowstone?
I've not seen it yet, but I've heard people. I've been trying to get into it. I've got to sit down and watch it.
I love Yellowstone.
I love Kevin Costner. Anything he's in, I watch because he's just a really good actor. I think.
Michael Keaton will be Batman again on Flashpoint. It's dealing with the multi.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Yes, No Country for Old Men is really good too.
that's a dude. The coin flip scene in No
Yes,
Country
Justin.
for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
Bret Hart, yeah, Bret Hart. That's right,
Yep.
dude.
We
This
can.
conversation is so fun and so
It is.
random.
It
How did
is.
we? Okay, I keep it going. But how in the world did we get started on this?
It's been 30 minutes ago now. I forgot how we did it.
I watched the
The ranch.
first season of The Ranch, but I haven't
Oh,
watched any more. I enjoyed it. I just haven't watched the rest of it.
I don't remember that. I want to check that out.
It's got what's his name? You'd know him. It's got Sam Elliott in it.
Okay.
Ashton Kutcher
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't
and
watched it yet, but yeah.
Danny Masterson was in it to begin with too, and he got kicked out for
Well,
that. I think during the Me Too movement or whatever,
yeah.
something like that.
Speaking of them two guys, that '70s show, I watched it
Oh yeah,
religiously. I mean
yes.
that. I mean, when I was a kid watching that, whenever they did the basement scene where they're all smoking, but I just saw that smoke and I just like, oh, cool, they got like a fire going on behind them. And it's just then I got older, I said, oh man, they're smoking a doobie there. And so, it was fun. But I love that. And my favorite scene in that, Cheech and Chong was, he was Tommy Chong was in, and they was sitting in the chapel in the church, and they come around with offering plate. And he's like, "Thanks," and just grabs a handful. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is great."
Gosh, yes.
Oh man.
Y'all keep them rolling. Malcolm in the Middle. Everybody hates Chris. Yeah, I watched both of those. I mean,
Hmm.
I wouldn't say I've seen them all from start to finish, but
Yeah.
um,
Yes, they are, Justin. I've
are
seen that.
are they really?
Hmm.
I did not know that. And no joke, the other day me and my wife and uh, some of our friends or somebody, I don't know who it was. We were talking about that '70s show, and I said, when that '70s show come out, it was the same time frame as what a show, if it was called that '90s show, would be in today's time. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the same time frame has been elapsed since the '90s as it was from the '70s to when that '70s show come out.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Says it sounds like our fans are wanting us to do a separate podcast all about TV shows and movies. We
Yeah,
should
that's
have
what
more
it's.
time. We should have more time in the
Well,
week to do that.
no kidding. No kidding.
Because this is fun, man. I'm having a great time. Speaking of the one of the cast members, Lauren Pepperon, have y'all seen Orange Is the New Black? I haven't seen any of it, so
Never
I didn't
seen
know.
it.
I didn't either. I don't. I heard it was pretty good though.
Uh, what is another show? Ozark on Netflix.
Hmm.
That's good. Uh, Hell on Wheels.
Hmm.
That's good.
Was it Sons of Liberty? I think that was one that's on
No,
FX.
not Sons of Liberty. It was Turn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Turn. It's kind of the same. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Justin, I'm all for it because I still watch wrestling this day. It's not the
Jake
same.
Jake is a
But
wrestling fanatic.
I'm very excited that 2K is delaying the release of the new WWE game until March because they've got one shot to make this right, and it sounds like they're going to try to. Because they don't being a gamer, there will never be another wrestling game. That's WWE tied. Now AEW is trying to get a game out there, so we'll see how that goes. But WWE they got to hit on this one, or there'll be no more WWE games.
I'm totally lost.
Yeah.
I do like documentaries. I hadn't sat and watched one in a while, but I enjoy documentaries. The Good Doctor. I watched probably the first 2 or 3 seasons of that, but I haven't kept up with it since. Just lost time, really.
Hmm.
Never watched Manifest. Heard a lot of good things. The Pharmacist is very interesting. I don't even think I've heard of that.
I ain't either. Another talking about a doctor, Doctor Who. I watched a couple of seasons of I really enjoyed it. And another show that I really like, it's not on anymore, but it's called Burn Noticed or Burn
Oh, that's it.
Noticed.
Yes.
Man,
Ooh,
I love
Suits. Has any of y'all ever watched
Suits.
Suits?
Dude, Suits was amazing.
Suits
Love
is
that
an
show.
amazing show.
Yes. Another
Harvey
one.
Specter.
Yes. Another one that's not on anymore. Nip Tuck. It
Yeah.
was really good. Um, it got kind of wild there later on the seasons. Yeah, that is true. GWB. Now we're getting off on stage. Stacey's just gonna have to listen to us talk
Hey,
about
that's
wrestling.
fine. I can stand here and nod my head.
But a lot of talent has left WWE to go to AEW. They're doing really good right now. But Sherlock, I have not.
I bet that's good. Old
I bet it
Benedict
is.
Cumberbatch.
Yes,
Man, you imagine trying to learn how to say that as a kid?
Benedict
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch. CM Punk on the mic was outstanding. He probably had the best mic skills in wrestling.
Hey,
Rock did too.
we actually have more people joining the show right now, so I'm just going to give everybody a warning. We have completely moved
Yeah.
on from Iron Bowl talk to talking about anything from movies to TV shows to wrestling to documentaries. So
The, yeah.
this is now the chat is for any and all subjects.
Yeah.
Fire away.
Uh, if you wanted to catch up on the Iron Bowl when we end, it would be the first hour.
Yes.
From hour 1 hour and 1 minute on till whenever we end this live will be all about movies, TV shows, wrestling, anything. And I agree 100% GWB 29. When he lost the streak, I cried because Undertaker's my favorite wrestler of all time. Yeah, I was livid too. Yeah, I was so mad about that, and I was mad today that Vince's little puppet Roman Reigns beat him too. But we don't have to go down that road. I'm trying to think of another TV show that I've watched. I used to. I don't think it was a doc. It might have been a documentary, but Unsolved Mysteries. I still watch it every once in a while. It's just cool to keep up.
Yeah, that's something neat to watch every once in a while. That's not something
Yeah.
I can sit there and watch over and over again,
No.
but every once in a while it's pretty fun to catch one of those.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. Yeah.
All right, see now you're talking. Sting was my favorite growing up as a kid,
Yeah. I
but
love seeing too.
I haven't watched wrestling in. See, I'm 32 years old, so probably close to 20 years.
Criminal
So
Minds is good.
yeah, Criminal Minds is a really good show.
NCIS is still one of my favorites.
NCI, see, I feel the same way about NCIS and Law and Order. They're good TV shows,
Hmm.
but it's by the book. It's the same thing
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. I never heard of Umbrella Academy. I might
I
have
hadn't
to
either.
write that down as well.
That reminds me of a of one of the blacklisters on the show The Blacklist. There was somebody. The organization's name was called the Osterman Umbrella Company.
Lost, I never got into. I don't know why, but I heard it was really good.
I heard it was good. Um, I've never watched it, but no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to mess up anything for anybody.
Right. Um, a show that I mean, and it's more of a cartoonish show, but it don't matter how old a guy is, I still watch it. But Dragon Ball Z,
Oh,
I mean,
Dragon Ball Z.
I still go back and watch old episodes of it because that just it don't matter if you're 5 or you're 30 like I am. I love it. Once upon a time, I heard it was pretty good. I haven't watched it yet either.
That's the one that goes like a different twist on Disney, like characters and stuff.
Okay.
Um, oh, another show, Longmire. That's a really good show.
Oh, my one. I watched it religiously when it was on A&E. Then they moved off A&E, and I haven't watched it since. But I don't think it's on air anymore.
No,
So
no. Netflix picked it up for one, maybe two seasons.
mhm.
It's good.
Yeah, Longmire, he was tough.
Hey, you need to watch. You need to watch the end of it, buddy.
I do. I need to catch up on that. I'm at the start of season one, just catch all the way back up, just refresh my mind, and then go from there. I did read that there are several people who like main characters who died in it, so that's kind of saddening.
Hey,
But
uh, if you like Longmire, you'll love Yellowstone.
I heard that.
Yellowstone is Longmire uh, intensified greatly.
Okay, I
And
heard. I heard on Yellowstone they dropped the L bomb a good bit.
oh, it's yeah. You can't watch it around your kids.
No, I don't have kids yet, so I'm good there.
I watched the first two seasons of Designated Survivor. Then I watched a couple episodes of season three, and I'm like, nah, I'm out.
I didn't
But
really get into those Survivor, shows.
no, no, Designated Survivor.
Oh, is it something different then? Okay.
Yeah, that's it's Kiefer Sutherland is it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The concept of that show is fantastic, and they done a really good job for a couple seasons, and then they kind of lost it there.
Speaking of Keith Sutherland, he had a show, and I cannot think of the name of it. Y'all guys might have seen it, but I don't.
24.
It might have been. Was that the one with the little boy?
Oh, I don't know. I did
There's
that.
one.
Well, I think of Kiefer Sutherland. I think of 24.
Well,
Jack Bauer.
yeah. It might be Jack Bauer. I think it was, but it might have been something about a little boy. He's trying to that has some kind of like special ability or something. But and there was another show. It only lasted one season, but me and my mom watched the show and we loved it, and we was upset it didn't get a second season. But it's called Flash Forward,
I never heard of it.
and it was good. It was intense all the way through.
Uh, yeah. Can you still see the chat, Jake? If I take it
Hmm.
off our, okay, good.
Yeah.
Um, I was seeing it twice, so it was kind of getting on my nerves. Yeah, Draft Day is a good football movie. I like that movie. Kevin Costner is fantastic.
Kevin Costner's good in anything.
Hey, a show on Netflix. Uh, uh, sh- oh, The Last Kingdom.
I heard it was really good.
It is fantastic.
I'm gonna check that out.
It is fantastic. Any of y'all have seen The Last Kingdom in the chat?
Um, what was that movie? I just thought of might have been a show. Can't remember now. I got. Oh, I used to watch Naked and Afraid a lot.
That's a pretty fun show.
Hmm.
I highly suggest The Last Kingdom.
Yeah,
It's
I want to see that.
I I can't believe I hadn't said it before because it's up there in one of my favorite. Watch Will Smith's movie King Richard. I hadn't even heard
Is
of that.
is that the one about the Williams sisters? He's the dad of the Williams sisters. Is that it, Justin? Because I've seen previews of it.
Oh,
I mean, I think it's. I mean, it's about him, but it's about the Williams sisters. I do believe,
yeah. All
and
right, we just
their
had
story.
we just had somebody else join the show. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on tonight. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks GWB, and keep hey like and subscribe on YouTube, and you and set a reminder. Get the notifications so whenever we do go live or plan to go live, you'll know. Okay, that's what I thought, Justin.
Oh man. Well, if nobody else is going to interject with their movie or TV show of their choice, I guess now is a good time to slowly wind things down.
We'll think about doing a podcast separate, talk TV shows slash movies with Stacey and Jake. I don't know. And Justin
Hey,
if you want to join.
hey, Anthony! Happy Thanksgiving. Roll
Hey
Tide.
Anthony, roll tide, buddy.
If you're just joining Anthony, the first hour of the show is dedicated to the Iron Bowl, and the last 45 minutes has been complete randomness.
Yeah, it's been great.
But it's been
I've
a
had
lot
a
of
great
fun.
time.
It's
It
been a lot of
has.
fun.
It's been awesome.
Yep. But I think that's going to do it. Appreciate everybody watching. Had a lot of fun talking tonight, not just about the Iron Bowl, but about Thanksgiving meals, about documentaries, about wrestling, about movies, about TV shows, about James Spader, about Kiefer Sutherland, uh, all sorts of interesting conversations were had tonight. And we appreciate everybody that was in the chat.
DH Baller. Make sure when they go subscribe to him.
Will do, brother. Will do.
Thank you.
Most definitely. There's our first Twitch comment. We are streaming on Twitch for the first time tonight. So great to have DH Baller on there. We will definitely get you a sub on YouTube and follow you on Twitch as well. So we appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed already to our podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give us a thumbs up. And after the live show, if you didn't get a chance to jump in the live chat, jump in the comment section on YouTube and drop your score predictions for the Iron Bowl. Really appreciate everybody watching. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Justin, happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. Roll Tide. Really appreciate everybody. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, Alabama comes out, plays well on Saturday, gets that win against the Auburn Tigers, so we can move on and get ready to face the Georgia Bulldogs and beat those dirty dogs there in Atlanta, Georgia, win the SEC again, and hopefully make another run at a national championship. But for Stacey Blackwood and Jake Thomas, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.